Top 10 extreme science experiments on YouTube. Back in high school, when your chemistry teacher specifically told you not to mess with the chemicals in the lab, the warning was extremely legitimate. Science experiments are meant to be done in highly controlled and monitored environments. When we were kids, backyard science shows would teach us how to make our homemade ice cream using the simple facts and laws of science. However, some grown-ups decided to take science and try on much more extreme and often dangerous experiments. A few YouTube channels are dedicated to science experiments, whereas others just have a few random science videos here and there. Often the people performing these experiments have a lot of background knowledge and experience as well, which is why these experiments might look as easy and as safe as they do. In reality, they are anything but. Here are 10 of the most extreme science experiments on YouTube. Ring of Fire. The backyard scientists decided to take pyrotechnics to a whole new level by placing a few lighters in a circle, such that each flame would be below the next. He then proceeded to light each lighter to see which one would explode first. The one he had lit first was also the first one to explode. Not satisfied with the small explosion, he decided to do the experiment again, but this time with a contraption that would light the lighters simultaneously. The explosions this time were a bit bigger. However, still not satisfied, he went outside to do the same experiment with much bigger lighter, and then with the flint present inside the lighter as well. It is safe to say, this experiment is not for the faint-hearted. Molten salt into water. The backyard scientists decided to see what molten salt could do to a fish tank full of water. After a few unsuccessful tries at the beginning of the video, he was surprised when the fish tank totally shattered when he poured molten salt into it. The replay in this one is brilliant. Pouring liquid nitrogen onto a pool that is on fire. The backyard scientists first set the pool on fire and then proceeded to attempt putting out the diethyl ether caused the fire by throwing in large quantities of liquid nitrogen. Since the liquid nitrogen forms a layer of nitrogen gas on top of the water, it blocks off the oxygen and puts out the fire effectively. The rest of the video is spent doing various versions of the same experiment. Liquid nitrogen on the face. Grant Thompson, the king of random, has a thing for liquid nitrogen. A lot of his videos focus on science experiments, but this one in particular screams danger to anyone watching. He throws liquid nitrogen onto his face to dispel the myth that skin contact with dry ice can be extremely dangerous. In reality, liquid nitrogen almost bounces right off the skin and evaporates instantly. Grant already knew this wasn't dangerous, which is why he attempted the experiment. All it does is make you feel rather cold for a bit. Blast a lantern. Grant Thompson, the king of random, has another excellent science experiment that combines all the beautiful things in life: science, Halloween and scaring people. Taking a full pumpkin, hollowing it and then carving out the basic shapes of the eyes, mouth and top, he placed a small cup with calcium carbide into the pumpkin and added water from the top. Keeping all the pieces still attached to the pumpkin, he added a flare and allowed the pumpkin to explode. This made the cut-out parts blast away and the pumpkin looked brilliant and scary. Dangerous Thanksgiving dessert. Grant Thompson, the king of random, did another video that was incredibly exciting by how science was used in it, calling it Pyrotechnics. He created a seemingly innocent pie that was insanely flammable. Using sugar and spectricide stump remover, he allowed the sugar to caramelize over a stove and mix with the stump remover. What appeared to be a very cake-like chocolatey mixture lit up into a giant flame when a flare was used to ignite it. 500 cigarette lighters in the fire. Mr. Gear decided to take this up a few hundred notches. While normal people were out trying to light 5-6 lighters on fire to see an explosion, this gentleman went out and got 500. He started by digging a hole in the ground, which he then proceeded to fill with wood. Lighting a fire, he added the lighters, and the blast of fire to follow was awe-inducing. Coupled with the music in the background, this video is almost cathartic to watch. Random objects versus gas torch. Mr. Gear might have a thing for fire and flames. In this video, he used a gas torch to see what the effect will be on average household items. He tried the gas torch on an egg, a deodorant can, and many more random objects. Cornstarch pool. Hard science decided to make 270 gallons of cornstarch and water mixture. This mixture is a non-Newtonian fluid, which means that it behaves as a solid or a liquid according to how much pressure and force is exerted on it. The hard science duo had a lot of fun with this experiment. Alkali metals. Royal Society of Chemistry had this lecture lab in which alkali metals are tested while going down the periodic table. Alkali metals are extremely dangerous and must not be messed with. This video shows a highly skilled professional dealing with alkali metals and showing their reactions. Some of this experiment can be quite scary and dangerous, which is why it is recommended that one must never try this at home. No matter how much you like to watch the lighters burn, if you do that in your backyard, your mom might just throw you out.